The first time I saw Srila Prabhupada was San Francisco airport. I joined a van. I lived in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I was 17, and I saw a van pull up at a gas station full of devotees, and I knew there was a big Moody Blues concert going to happen down the street. So I ran out. I said, I'm going to go get a ride with them. And the guy was with us goes, I'm not riding with those guys. So I ran over to the van, just thinking I'm going to get a ride to this concert. I said, you guys going to the concert? They said, yeah, get in. So I get in the van, and Mrigendra hands me a Gita, a Nectar of Devotion, and a Bhagavad-gita, kind of piles me up. Give a donation. I sit in the van, he just hits me up. And I happen to have 90 bucks in my pocket. So I pulled out a 20 and gave it to him. So I'm sitting in the van, and they're all in dhotis and tilak and stuff. And we go down to the concert. And when we get to the concert, we have a kirtan in the van for maybe 15, 20 minutes. After the kirtan, they all put on plain clothes and wigs. And they go, we're going to distribute this incense and these books at this concert, and would you like to help us? I'm like, well, okay, sure. So they give me a big pile of incense and some little books, and we're standing there, giving people incense and saying, give a donation for Bangladesh. And my friends were coming up going, Makriti, what the hell? What are you doing? And I'm giving them books and incense, and people are giving donations, and I had a ticket, and I sold it. And after everybody went in the concert, the devotees said, well, we're going to the temple. You want to come with? And I just said, okay. I just said, forget the concert. For some reason, I was attracted to this. And the temple was from Ann Arbor, maybe 50 miles out to Detroit. So we went out to Detroit, and we walked in, and Govardhan came down. I was like a macrobiotic at the time, eating brown rice, and that was it, miso soup and stuff. And I get there, and Govardhan comes down with a maha plate. And he's, on that maha plate are puris with powdered sugar and halava and gulab jamuns and hot milk. And he's like, here. And I hadn't eaten anything like that for about a year. And I saw it, and I was like, wow. And I just ate that. And then we went to bed. And they said, we're going to wake you up early, so don't be surprised. And it seemed like I just laid down. And the next thing you know, they're clanging cartels down there in the Brahmacharya ashram in Detroit Temple. It was down in the basement of the temple. Anyway, so I went to Mangalartik, and they wrapped me in a dhoti and put some tilak on my head. And I said, can you take me back to Ann Arbor today? And Prabhanu, who was the party leader, said, yeah, sure, we'll take you back. So on the way to Ann Arbor, he said, you want to stop and distribute a few more books before? So we stopped, and we did Bhagavad-gita. We went to a Pier 1, and the manager said we could do it. I couldn't believe it. He said, sure. We put cases of Bhagavad-gitas right in the foyer, right there, and there was 2 doors. And he let us stand there for hours and sell Bhagavad-gitas. So by the time the day was over, Mrigendra said, do you still want to go back to Ann Arbor? And I said, let's just go to the temple. So we went back to the temple, had prasadam. I did that for maybe 4 days. And finally, we were driving around doing Sankirtan on the 4th day, and Prabhupada said, you don't mind if we don't go to Ann Arbor, do you? And I said, nah, I don't care. So we went to Cleveland, which was the temple they were from. And so I joined. I joined a van. I just never left. So that was what happened to me.
So that was your first contact.
That was my first contact. But what we did on that party, because Mrigendra was into travel in Sankirtan, that's what we did. And there was an expo out there in Spokane. So we convinced the president, if we go to Spokane, we do this expo, we'll do huge, and then we get to go to San Francisco Rath Yatra. So that was when we went to San Francisco and saw Prabhupada come in the airport. That's the first time I saw him. We all went into San Francisco airport to wait for Prabhupada, and there was hundreds of devotees, with flowers and garlands, and kirtan was going on, and it was amazing when Prabhupada finally emerged out from, because we were watching all these people come in, and we're like, where is he, where is he? And there he came, and we all paid obeisances and got up, and I looked at Prabhupada, and I don't know what it was just like, it was something that you never experienced before, although I had been anticipating it for so long by reading and listening to his lectures and stuff. And when I saw him, I didn't know what to think. I just felt like I was so lucky to be there. And there he is. There's my spiritual master. And I remember Guru Kripa came walking up, and I talked to him later about it. He had a check for 80,000 bucks, and he came up to Prabhupada, and he handed him a check. And Prabhupada took off his chadar and wrapped it around Guru Kripa. And I remember that really clearly because I was close there, and all those devotees were there, and there was Guru Kripa and Prabhupada, and it was amazing. That was it on the airport thing. At the Rath Yatra parade, Mrigendra said, don't just go and chant and dance, distribute books, So we were out distributing books in front of the cart. And then at the end, when Prabhupada was on the stage and gave the lecture, I was there in front of the stage just looking at Prabhupada and listening and listening. And at one point, and I've heard other devotees have said this happened to them too, Prabhupada looked right through me. He looked in, it was some kind of, almost like electronic kind of, it was something I'd never experienced, but I knew that he knew me, and I knew that he looked right into me, and it was just, I almost fainted. I was freaked out for a second. Then he turned away, and and I was just surprised. I had heard those kind of things before, but I'd never experienced it. But that was the time when Prabhupada looked into my soul. That's what it felt like. And that was a really nice thing.